If you have not seen the 4th season of Game of Thrones, I highly suggest that you stop watching this video right now because this review will contain at least one major spoiler. So if you want to avoid spoilers altogether and experience the 4th season of Game of Thrones for yourself, I highly suggest you stop watching this video right now and move on to something else. I'm going to give you 10 seconds as a warning. Still with me? Good, because I'm assuming you've already seen the 4th season of Game of Thrones. That being said, I would like to celebrate. I have a bottle of wine here. Why? To celebrate the death of King Joffrey Baratheon. And now his watch is ended. That really doesn't fit King Joffrey Baratheon if you ask me. And yes, I do believe I choked at the delivery of ending that intro, so my apologies. Feel free to celebrate my blunder. The 4th season of Game of Thrones adapts the remainder of the 3rd book of A Song of Ice and Fire, A Storm of Swords. Now, I already stated in my review of the 3rd season of Game of Thrones that I appreciated the showrunners in adapting that 3rd book into 2 seasons instead of 1. In my opinion, the end result paid off. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record when I say this, but the overall design in this show is impeccable. It's been that way for the past 3 seasons, it shows in this season, and it will also show in seasons 5 and 6 that followed after this season. Also, just like the past 3 seasons, the overall cinematography as well as the choreography still remain top-notch in this show. My only nitpick with how Season 4 looks is actually some of the camera angle editing regarding the fight of Oberyn Martell and the Mountain. There are some parts in that fight where Oberyn Martell is like hopping, like 360, and there's a lot of camera angle editing that I felt was a little unnecessary in certain angles, and the fight was still good. It's just that was the only distracting part about the fight, but I can get past it. The music by Ramin Djawadi is still great, and that really goes without saying. The overall acting is just as good as the past 3 seasons, and it has some of the best acting you will see from Peter Dinklage throughout this entire show.
I saved you. I saved this city and all your worthless lives. I should have let Stannis kill you all.
Tyrion! Do you wish to confess?
Yes, Father. I'm guilty. Guilty? Is that what you want to hear?
You admit you poisoned the king?
No. Of that I'm innocent. I'm guilty of a far more monstrous crime. I'm guilty of being a dwarf.
You're not on trial for being a dwarf.
Oh, yes I am. I've been on trial for that my entire life.
Have you nothing to say in your defense?
Nothing but this. I did not do it. I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish that I had. Watching your vicious bastard die gave me more relief than 1,000 lying whores. I wish I was the monster you think I am. I wish I had enough poison for the whole pack of you. I would gladly give my life to watch you all swallow it.
Damn!
Samarin! Samarin! Escort the prisoner back to his cell.
I will not give my life for Joffrey's murder, and I know I'll get no justice here, so I will let the gods decide my fate. I demand a trial by combat.
The other cast members are just as terrific throughout this entire season. And I should mention Jack Gleeson, the actor that plays King Joffrey Baratheon, because this was the final season that King Joffrey Baratheon will appear in. And the reason I say this is because one time before season 4 came around, Jack Gleeson stated that he would retire from acting once he's done playing the character of King Joffrey Baratheon. And since King Joffrey Baratheon met a terrible fate, that was it for Jack Gleeson. He retired from acting ever since. And I suppose that's fine by me. I mean, he was a very good actor. And if he wants to retire from acting, that's his business. I can't really force him to go back into acting. And sure, I would like to see more acting from him. But hey, if he wants to pursue other goals or whatever he's interested in, hey, that's fine. It's all fair game. Now that I've said that, I would like to propose a toast. To King Joffrey Baratheon, you truly were a little shit. And you were such a cruel bastard that we all hated you for it. But to Jack Gleeson, who played the character, I say thank you for doing an outstanding job with your portrayal of King Joffrey Baratheon, because your entire performance was terrific and spot on. And to that I say cheers. May your future be bright. Now, I can see why Peter Dinklage got some attention this time around, and that's because Tyrion, out of all the characters, does have a very important character arc in this season. And as you can probably tell how the season goes, you kind of know why. The one thing I do appreciate about Season 4 that does involve a major scene is how the death of King Joffrey is handled. Now, I understand a lot of fans want this character dead, because he is such a little shit. We all love to hate this character. And after all he's done since Season 1, who would blame any of us for wanting King Joffrey dead? Well, we did get our wish, but not what we'd expected. This particular death scene pretty much proves, be careful what you wish for. Because King Joffrey's death, as satisfactory as it is, it's horrific as hell. I really don't have much to say about the characters since pretty much 95% of them are old faces, but I do like Oberyn Martell. I thought he was kind of cool. Too bad he's only in one season. It goes without saying that a lot does happen in Season 4, and really a lot does happen throughout this entire series. But there definitely are some sad moments, especially the death of Ygritte, even though their relationship was starting to get rocky at Season 4. But there's even shocking moments such as Tyrion killing Shae and even his father. Damn. Now there is one thing that's been bothering me with Game of Thrones after going through 4 seasons, and that is the White Walkers. Now, I understand and I am content with the fact that the White Walkers don't show up that much during the first 2 seasons. It makes sense, but with seasons 3 and 4, they also show up once a season. And I'm starting to get a little bothered by this because I understand the showrunners and even George R. R. Martin himself are hyping up these White Walkers to be a pretty vital part of the series later on. I get it, but the less they show up later on, the more I'm starting to care less about the White Walkers as the series progresses. I'm sorry. Even with my nitpick of the White Walkers after going through 4 seasons, there were a number of book readers that had a bit of a tangent over the fact that Lady Stoneheart from the books was excluded from the show. Now, in case you do not know who Lady Stoneheart is, she is the vengeful spirit of Catelyn Stark. Yeah, if the show were to bring Lady Stoneheart in, that means Catelyn Stark would be back. And the reason she was excluded was because they did not want to make the show feel like that, oh, now since dead characters can come back, that means some characters are safe, right? Well, I kind of understand the logic with Game of Thrones, but I would like to ask the same damn question when it comes to Season 6. More on that later. Overall, the 4th season of Game of Thrones is just as good as the previous 3 seasons. And the praises I gave towards the previous 3 seasons also applies to the 4th season. Season 4 does not disappoint. I also think Season 4 is a very strong season, but I also think it is when the show hit its peak. If you like this review, feel free to hit the like button. And if you want to follow my channel, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. And as always, you are welcome to leave me a comment if you feel so inclined. And thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next review.